Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So, the Hive Master, or in this instance the gun I'm going to call the Thunderqueef. Is it good? Is it bad? Let's talk about the weapon. Let's get right on into everything you need to know about the Thunderqueef. So, let's get right on into it. Starting off with the cores and substats. For the cores, I've gone with fire rate for the optional. I've gone with firearm attack, double toxic, and multi-hit chance on here specifically. Next up, for the substats, I've gone with toxic, crit damage, firearm attack, rounds per mag, crit rate would be good on here, and multi-hit chance or multi-hit damage would be good on here. This weapon is a very confusing weapon, so I'm going to talk about it now, right? Let's have a look at the build. So for the build, this is essentially what you would be using on like majority of your Descendants that don't have infinite ammo, like Glay or Enzo. So you'd pair it up with 3 crit mods, you'd pair it up with 2 elementals, so toxic enhancement and poison priority, 1 fire rate module, 2 damage modules, so action, reaction, rifling enforcement, 1 weak point mod, and then spray and pray. So when we look at this weapon's stats, I'm going to spend 100 caliber just so I don't have to touch this thing. The weapon's stats have good crit rate, good crit damage, decent, very good multi-hit chance, decent multi-hit damage, and good weak point multiplier. So you can technically build this weapon into everything, right? You can build it into multi-hit, you can build it into crit damage, and you can also build it into weak point. So when I was testing this weapon, I went with the full weak point and crit setup, right? But then I also went with something else. Let me show you something specific right now. Now, with this weapon, I need to quickly put on my display capture. There you go, you guys can see my entire display now. So with this weapon, let me just give you a point and case. With this one here, let me just mute this. When I was running the full multi-hit setup, you can see here I did roll these to gold, all of these to gold when I tested it again, but let me just show you what happened. This is also using the correct inversion. I was using percussion sight, but then I did go back to change it and test it with multi-trigger, and it was very similar, if not the same. But you can see here, it takes 2 or 3 bursts, and then it deletes the mob. It'll start absolutely annihilating them, and you can see it starts queefing once in a while. If not, it doesn't really queef very much. And the concept of this weapon is good, and it just starts queefing occasionally depending on the multi-hit stuff, because it is triggered by multi-hit a little bit more. But you can see just the way that it performs here, it's not bad with multi-hit. However, if we get rid of that and then we change that exact setup over, but this time with crit, full crit on this weapon instead, what ends up happening is you end up in basically the same scenario. I was using the inversion, that one that gives more bugs in here, but even with crit, this weapon ends up basically doing little to the exact same damage if you can aim correctly, and it still ends up annihilating. So this weapon is a very strange one, because you can build it into multi-hit, and then you can also build it into crit, and in both scenarios the weapon does very similar, if not literally the same damage, and I just find it very odd. So where do you truly go with this weapon? This weapon is basically a rip-off of the Thunder Cage. That's why I call it the Thunderqueef, except the Thunder Cage is literally better. And this is day 1155 of waiting for Sen to release the Thunder Cage build. But even with this in general, you can kind of see this weapon it's at a little bit of a stalemate. I can't even fully tell you to build this into multi-hit or whether to build this into crit. So in terms of the weapon, this weapon is actually cooked. Now when you strike a touch of a balance down the middle, like I've shown over here with multi-hit chance and then with crit damage on it, and then even running one of these setups or another, I would honestly say run multi-pierce trigger, multi-trigger, and then just run like better insight or something. Like at this point I might as well test that and see how that goes, because this weapon is such an oddity. I can't even fully tell you how it works in its exact info. This weapon does seem to thrive off higher level mobs or tankier mobs, because then that will cause the bug or the queef to start happening. But as you can see over here, it's again about the same. It's very odd in the way that it works, especially with the crits and just with the way that this weapon is set up. Now when you do use it on stronger targets though, it can definitely do a little bit more. I just don't know where to truly take this weapon. It's a strong weapon in what it is, but I just don't know whether I could tell you to go one way or another with it. It's truly the weapon down the middle. Then in terms of Colossi, if we pull a Colossi out, I don't think this is going to be very good for Colossi. In terms of Colossi, we'll give both setups a shot as well. We'll give the full multi-hit setup a shot, and then we'll also give the full crit setup a shot. But just in general, on Colossi, I don't know why you would use this, but it does actually do kind of okay, especially with the weak point setup. Gluttony goes down very, very easily with this setup. So if we put Gluttony up against the multi-hit, he goes flying down. If we put Gluttony up against the crit setup, again, to nobody's extent, he goes flying down. I don't know what to tell you with this weapon, truly. It's a very, very odd weapon. It falls truly down the middle on... I've spent a lot of time investing and testing and all that sort of stuff. It's not a bad weapon, and I think that there definitely needs to be some more study into this thing. It's not a good weapon, but it's not a bad weapon. It just screams, I want to be the Thunder Cage. I wanna. Because, well, with the Thunder Cage, you basically pull one of these things out. Even with a scuffed setup like this, you'll still get basically the same thing, if not just as good. It's very, very cooked, especially given that, let's say, for example, this weapon will take this raw mobs down with it. You can see that we've done one mob off each side and one over there. So it does have its own targeting system and stuff like that. But then when we pull the actual Thunder Cage out, the real Thunder Cage procs significantly more. Harder to aim for sure, but even the actual Thunder Cage does basically the same damage, if not 3 mobs off there. It's basically the same. It's such a strange weapon. I don't know where to put this, where to class this. I don't want to say it's trash, but I don't want to say it's good either. You see what I mean? It's an odd weapon, and I think that this has the potential to be good against a higher tier boss, or if we do good old trusty and, you know, we cough cough, give it to Serena. I'm sure it'll be good here, but that's because Serena is a cheat code to everyone and everything in the game. Running the multi-hit setup on this thing with Serena is definitely going to be a cheat code because everything is. But I just think that this weapon's not really promising. With Serena, even with Serena, this thing is kind of arse against normal mobs if we think about it. And bear in mind, this is Legion of Breach. This isn't even the Legion of Darkness or the Pattern Flores boss in the new dungeon that are level 380 or 390. So I don't know where this weapon falls. I think it's kind of shit. But let me know what you guys think, because after quite a bit of definitive testing, this is kind of the conclusion I came to. But anyways guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please do smash that like button, and if you're new here, please do consider subscribing. I make plenty of videos on the first Descendant, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!